What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what you should be looking out for the future of this company. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what we're seeing. I'm also going to talk about the producer price index, what emotions are essentially driving the market right now, and also what's going on with margin calls and how all of these things are essentially coming together and they may affect Tesla for the next upcoming weeks. So I'm going to talk about all of that and also what my price prediction is. But before I do that, before I say anything about predictions, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. And not only benefits me, benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You are guaranteed 5 free stocks each worth up to $2,000, and you could always sell these 5 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla stock for free. This is a limited time offer that ends in just 2 weeks, so please check it out to get your 5 free stocks before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we're down 0.82% for the day, and we did see the market see some red and green here and there, but there was some very interesting price action for Tesla that I really want to talk about because we may have seen some margin calls right before our very eyes. So look at this first before I get started with that. If you look at the wholesale inflation rate, it rose 11% in April as producer prices keep on accelerating. And this wasn't necessarily a surprise to the markets. The markets did anticipate this because CPI was also up. But one thing to remember is the fact that producer price indexes are important. They give us essentially, it's supposed to be one of the other measures of inflation from the producer side of things. And you could see it was 11.5% in March and also 11% right now. So there is a slight decline, but it still is at a very high level, and we really need to see things get done because of this. So because of the fact that we're hearing about inflation being so high, these lockdowns happening in China, all this FUD that is being spread, and people talking about a market crash, the market is quite fearful right now. Look at the fear and greed index. It's at level 6 now. So the way this chart works, the higher the numbers are, the more greedy things are for the markets. The lower the numbers are, the more fearful. We're at 6 out of 100, which means that it's very, very low. We're extremely fearful right now. Fear is driving the market right now, and the market is taking a hit because of this, but it's not the end of the world because there are some interesting things that we noticed. If you look at Tesla, check this out. Tesla ended up dropping below the $700 level of support. In my yesterday video, I mentioned to you that if Tesla dropped below 700, I'd expect a bounce off either 690 or 680. We got it exactly at 680. And what happened was after this nice drop, we saw a massive, I would say it's like a mini rally. It was like a mini rally up to $759 within a very short period of time. We also ran on a lot more volume than usual. I just wanted to call that out. So what's happening is this could be a possible margin call. Maybe not a huge one, but a small one. And the way this works is a lot of short positions are made on margin. And what happens is it's not just short positions, it's positions all over the market, but essentially short positions play a big role when it comes to these margin requirements. What happens is when you short a company, or when a lot of these companies are going short, they're betting the stock prices go down. When they do this, they're on margin. They're not using cash they have at hand. They're borrowing money. And in order for them to do this, they have requirements they have to set. So it costs them money to do this essentially if they hold these short positions for too long. So if, excuse me, if things are really tough for you, and if you keep on trying to short a company, you're eventually going to have stricter margin requirements. And as a result, brokers may force traders to sell assets regardless of the market price to meet margin calls if the trader doesn't deposit funds. So they need money, they need liquidity to maintain a lot of these short positions. Otherwise, the margin requirements could hurt them. What's going on with crypto? Am I saying that it's only because of these margin requirements? No, but that definitely played somewhat of a role because crypto is getting destroyed right now. I'm not saying it's the end of crypto. I'm actually super, super bullish for crypto for many years to come. But right now, I want to talk about this. Crypto or Bitcoin was at the $34,000-$35,000 range just like 5 days ago. We're all the way down to 25,000, taking a massive hit, or at least we got a bounce off that. We're currently sitting at 28,000 at the time I'm recording this. But what's happening is the shorts, they are liquidating a lot of their funds. And this is just one of the many reasons as to why Bitcoin's dropping, to meet these margin requirements, because they're starting to cover some of their short positions. So, from the way I see this for Tesla, what on earth is my stance for the market? Well, I think that if you consider the fact that the market is super fearful, and next, or like the majority of investors, I don't want to say next to everyone, the majority of investors think the market's going to crash so hard, it's the end of the world. That's generally not what happens, because when almost everyone expects something, you generally get an opposite effect in the stock market, because the stock market is not normal. It's very, very tricky sometimes. And from what I'm seeing right now, if you look at the SPY, check this out on the daily candles. The SPY has been just dropping so hard, and we got this nice bullish reversal indicator right here. If the SPY starts to bounce, we either already hit our bottom at 385, or we're about to see our bottom, meaning the market's very close to the bottom and we're about to start rallying. The SPY has all these gaps that are going to start pushing this thing up. And I do think it's going to help the overall market, the NASDAQ, a lot of small caps, and Tesla as well. Tesla's going to run with the market. So for my prediction, this is my outlook on Tesla. Tesla is at a state, in my opinion, where we're starting to run on better volume. Let me bring up the volume real quick. You could see the overall volume. Let me just use some daily candles when showing this. On the daily candles, let me zoom in. The volume picked up for Tesla. Right now, we saw over 40 million, 45 million in volume, and we saw this nice bullish volume that's coming in. We're also noticing that when you look at the RSI, you'll notice that there is some bullish divergence that is starting to form. I don't know why this isn't loading. Sometimes it does that. It's weird, but we're starting to see some bullish divergence. What you'll notice is the fact that Tesla was just dropping, but the RSI picked up a little bit, which is just another indicator that we have some strength. And this is also a bullish indicator, or a sign that we're getting closer to the bottom and we're getting ready to reverse very soon. So the bottom may be 680, maybe a little bit lower, but I think it's almost there. So I would anticipate either starting tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I would anticipate by either next week or the week after, the market's going to start rallying and Tesla's going to be back pushing towards the 800s. That's what I think is going to happen. I could be wrong. Maybe the market will keep crashing, but I find that, excuse me, I find that's quite unlikely based off these indicators. Now, what do I think is going to happen tomorrow? I think Tesla's at a state where we were hammered so hard that it wants to find its new supports and it wants to hold them. So we're going to have to see some consolidation first. So let me draw this real quick. I forgot to draw this out, but so what I think is going to happen is this. If we were to drop, okay, let's go over what would happen if we dropped, what would happen if we run up first before I give you my prediction. If we drop, we have support at 700. Actually, 725 is strong support, 700 is stronger support, and at the lowest, we should get another bounce off 680 if we were to drop, if we start rallying tomorrow. Okay, Tesla has resistance at 757. Be on the lookout for that. Also, I think the 740s has some resistance. 740, 757, 775, then 800. So those are the key levels to be looking out for. What is my prediction? Finally, I'm going to get to the prediction part. Given what's happening to Tesla, I think we're trying to find our bottom. We may have already found it. And based off the fact that the market has been just hammered for so long, it's very possible we get a nice green day for tomorrow. So for what I think is going to happen is, I think there isn't necessarily a catalyst that's going to cause Tesla to crash tomorrow. At least at the time I'm recording this, I don't see anything that's going to really hurt us. So I think what's going to happen is Tesla's going to get a bit of a drop, kind of like how we always see these drops after the first 30 minutes of the market open. We're going to drop to the 700, okay? But I don't think we're going to drop down to 680. I'd be surprised if we did, but we're going to get a nice bounce off 700. And we're going to trade kind of sideways for a lot of the day. We're going to trade between 740, 700 for a lot of the day. And near the end, I predict we're going to be around that 720 range. We're going to get a nice push at the very end, a bullish push, excuse me, and we're going to end up pushing to almost 750, getting rejected, closing around 740 to 750, around this range. So I predict we're going to be somewhat in the green. I also think Tesla's going to start showing some strength and build support for the next upcoming weeks when this thing most likely starts to rally, in my opinion. So overall, short term, I think it's going to be a little bit sideways tomorrow. By next week, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing starts pushing even higher. And I would say as we approach the end of May, I think Tesla's going to start rallying. And I do think this thing is going to hit the 800s very, very soon. You might think I'm crazy. It may not make sense to a lot of people, but that's just my thesis. That's my opinion. Don't make financial decisions solely based off what I'm saying. But I just wanted to put it out there because I think the market's at that point where it wants to make a bit of a shift. I don't think the market's going to crash in a straight line. I think the market's going to drop for some periods of time. Then it's going to have reversals for other periods of time. It's going to run in intervals. It's going to run in intervals and drop in intervals. That's the way I see it. That's my opinion. And that's the way it goes for Tesla. So once again, for my prediction, I expect a bit of a rejection by the first 30 minutes of the open. We should get a bounce off 700, push off 700, have resistance off 725. We're going to break past that. And eventually near the end, we're going to push to that 750, 740 range, get a rejection, and maybe close around $740 a share. That's my prediction. I think we're going to get a consolidation day and a somewhat green day. But for the next upcoming weeks, my sentiment has shifted on the more bullish side if we do hold these levels, which I think we most likely will. With that out of the way, I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great, great, great rest of the day. Enjoy it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon and peace out.